Greetings, Growmantlers. Dan from GameReviewsAU here. Thanks for joining me once again. Today I'm going to be showing you a game called EchoBlade, which I played on the PS5. It was quite an interesting first-person melee hack-and-slash game that had a very interesting concept to it. Basically, your character is blind and therefore has to rely on the rebounds of sounds, etc., going through the area to find where your bearings are, to find out where walls are, where enemies are, and so on and so forth. However, despite the concept being thusly, it is very easy. I mean, your running, your footsteps, just the sheer fact that there are enemies nearby makes it so that you can see where everything is. I would have assumed that everything would have been a lot darker, a lot harder to get, I guess, your brain wrapped around. My brother had a similar idea for a game like this, which he put into practice, whereby you were in a dungeon and you had to find your way out using sounds. So you had to clap or something, and that would send audio, I don't know, a sound wave, that's it. And that sound wave would then come back to you, as they do, and you'd be able to get a feel for where the walls are, where corners are, and so on and so forth. Now his version, my brother's version of the game was pitch black, and it would only show you those sound waves coming back to you when they did. However, in EchoBlade, the sound waves just seem to come back to you constantly, so therefore you are hardly blind at all. Also, the enemies are highlighted in red, so you can see them from ages away. You see this little red thing walking around, and you're like, but why can I see that in the distance if, this game called EchoBlade, you've got to rely on echoes to find your way around, to find where the enemies are. I like the idea of these games that make you rely on sound and your hearing and using sound waves to get your bearings, I guess. I found that EchoBlade was way too easy, except for the point that I got to where I had no idea what I was actually meant to be doing. There were a bunch of cubes just sat on the floor and a button that I could jump on that would open a gate. But then when I jumped off it, the gate would close, and I'm like, how do I make it stay open? I don't get what these blocks are meant to do. There's not much instruction, which in this case is quite a letdown. I mean, I don't mind when games don't give you instruction, and you've got to work that on your own. But this one was like, okay, am I meant to be able to pick things up? I don't get it. Yeah, and yeah, you defeat enemies, you get XP, you level up, you gain access to new little perks and stuff that will increase your health, increase your damage done, so on and so forth. But I do feel that they're quite arbitrary. You can get through the game, or until you get stuck at a puzzle that has no clear solution. You can get through the game without needing these perks. So I do feel it was just put in there to make it feel a bit more variable. Yeah. The whole concept of EchoBlade really struck a nerve. I thought, this is cool. This is one of the games that I appreciate. I would love to get into this, but then actually playing it, I'm like, no, you have not put this game together the way that it should be if, your character really is blind and has to rely on sound to get around. You can get by with what you see. You hardly need to use sound effects at all. Very strange. All that having been said, the game is quite fun to look at. I do like how the sound waves and the echoes come back to you. I like that whole sort of pulsing animation feeling. I think it looks cool. And the combat felt really good too. A little bit easy, but at the same time, the swings of your sword and shooting crossbows and stuff felt quite solid and engaging. But overall, I'm going to be giving EchoBlade on PS5 2 out of 5 stars. I do feel it needs quite a bit more work to become what it should be. If you like this review, please hit the thumbs up button down below. Remember to subscribe to my channel, and if you do so choose to do so, leave a comment down below. Remember to check out my Patreon page too, and consider pledging a few bucks. Thank you. Bye.
I'll feast on your bones.